Randy Thomasson is a radio host and a member of a group called Save California. They fight to not have gay marriage in California. And he was filling in for another radio host recently, Janet Mefferd. I think this was on Friday. And he said this about gay marriage.
It's tyranny, it's intolerance, it's attack, it's a form of slavery even, that you cannot even have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and this is leading away from mere opposition to oppression with coming persecution. And we can't just say God wants this. No, God is against this. God is against what's wrong. And God said in His Word clearly that marriage is only for a man and a woman, and that sex outside of man-woman marriage is sin.
It doesn't matter if you believe that based on your religion. You don't make the laws, you don't base the government off of your religion or your God. You're entitled to those beliefs in your own house, and you're entitled to live according to your own beliefs, but that's not what we base the government off of. They still don't get that very, very basic thing. And you know what this shows you? Their view of rights is their right to tell you how to act. So they don't view it as every individual has rights. They view it as, no, it's within their rights to take away your rights. Again, they don't get these very, very basic concepts. But the most incredible parts, man, I don't know if you caught that at the beginning. He said, gay marriage is tyranny. Okay, the irony is overwhelming because, of course, what is tyranny? Tyranny is when there's, this overarching power, this singular authority that tells you what you can and cannot do. So what is much more in line with the idea of tyranny? Banning gay marriage and telling people, no, you can't do what you want to do. We're not going to allow you to be treated equal under the laws. So if anything is more tyrannical, it's banning gay marriage. But of course, this is projection. So he says, no, being in favor of gay marriage is tyranny. It's also intolerance. Again, projection. You can't get a more clear example of projection. This is exactly what he's doing, and he's putting that on people who are in favor of gay marriage. How exactly is it intolerant to let people do whatever they want to do as long as they're not hurting anybody else? No, you are clearly the intolerant one because you're telling people you can't do what makes you happy. You can't get married and, you're not bothering anybody else, but you're not allowed to get married because I personally don't like it. And then the worst of all, gay marriage is another form of slavery. These guys, they're disrespecting anybody and everybody who, has family members that were slaves. I mean, how absurd is that? No, you know what slavery is? When you take away all of somebody's rights, they have no freedom whatsoever. You tell them when to wake up, when to go to sleep. You whip them, you hurt them, you make them work 16-hour days in a hot field, you fuck their wife, you break up their families, you abuse them. No, slavery, gay marriage, is not a form of slavery. Gay marriage is a form of freedom. Yet again, they have it exactly backwards. Slavery is taking away people's freedom. And it's the most extreme example of that, okay? Telling people that they can't have the same rights that you can have with marriage, for example, that's more in line with that. They always have it exactly backwards, man. No, you're disrespecting anybody and everybody who has ever had a family member associated with slavery. You're disrespecting the concept and the idea of it. It's an absurd comparison. Either you believe in freedom or you don't. That includes the freedom to marry, even for people who you might not be in favor of them marrying. It's none of your fucking business, man. Again, they still can't get these basic concepts through their head, and they make the most absurd analogies. Not a day goes by when a Republican doesn't make a comparison between something that they dislike and Hitler, the Nazis, the KKK, and slavery. No, son, not everything you dislike is equal to slavery or equal to the Nazis.